Xbox Cloud Gaming has officially expanded into more territories. Phil Spencer talks about getting into the Japanese market and wanting to bring more Japanese games to other parts of the world. And STARFIELD is going to be huge. All right, guys, before we get started, I just want to let you know that my merchandise is now officially available. You can get access to it at plumegear.com and get shirts like this one here with me and my Gears outfit and the Plume network there. So if you like that kind of stuff, make sure to go check out my merch at plumegear.com. The link to the website will be in the description below. So this past week was the Tokyo Game Show, and Xbox had their event, and I would say one of the biggest announcements at this event was that Xbox Cloud Gaming is expanding into 4 more territories, and those are Brazil, Mexico, Australia, and Japan, which will all be available starting today. Now, the reason I say this is big specifically is because obviously expanding into more territories is going to increase the amount of people that sign up to Xbox Game Pass, that get into xCloud, but mainly because it is going to be available in Japan. And I've been very interested in seeing how this is going to affect the market in Japan in terms of how many people are going to start signing up to Xbox Game Pass to check out the games on there now that they have access to it through a mobile device. That's going to be, I think, one of the main ways gamers in Japan play, through a mobile phone. But of course, with xCloud, Xbox Cloud Gaming, you know you can play this on your PC, soon coming to consoles as well, as they are testing it on the Xbox One, and I think we're going to have like a streaming stick and a smart TV app in the future. Now, obviously, just releasing xCloud in Japan isn't going to cut it. They're going to have to release a bunch of games that appeal to that market, and there are already a decent amount of games. I believe there's like 100 Japanese games and 200 ID at Xbox games. But on top of that announcement, besides all like the Final Fantasy games, the Dragon Quest games, the Octopath Traveler, there were other games that were announced with this event, meaning that Scarlet Nexus is available now on Xbox Game Pass. I think that would appeal to gamers in Japan. We got Astria Ascending that was released too. So all of this came together with the announcement that xCloud is going to be officially available in that territory. But yeah, it will be interesting to see just what this does for Game Pass subscription numbers, if a bunch of people are going to sign up and try it, and then how many people in Japan after signing up or in these other territories stay on to Xbox Game Pass for the long term. Now, sticking on Japan and Xbox, Phil Spencer talked about previously when the Series X and the Series S were releasing that they really wanted to get more into Japan, get a bigger foothold, get higher to the top of the mind of gamers there. And he further talked about this, but specifically talking about not just that, also wanting to bring Japanese games over to other audiences. So Phil Spencer says that Xbox is working every single day to increase our lineup of Japanese games in order to help bring Japanese games around the world. Continuing saying, we're working with Japanese publishers every single day to increase our lineup of Japanese games on Xbox. We know it's really important to fans and customers on Xbox. And as I said, there's 100 Japanese titles currently on Game Pass and 200 Japanese indie games at the ID at Xbox program. Now, that's great to hear, because in terms of the Xbox One, when it came to Japanese games, there wasn't that great of a catalog compared to what there was with the Xbox 360, which actually had a pretty decent one when you think of games like Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey, Eternal Sonata, Tales of Vesperia, The Last Remnant. There was a bunch of stuff that was available on the Xbox 360, and it seemed like that dwindled a lot going into the Xbox One, and it looks like they're trying to get back to those Xbox 360 days, which makes a lot of sense because the overall feeling of the Xbox Series X and S, for people who were around from the OG Xbox all the way up until now, feels a lot like the Xbox 360 era, and I think it's actually going to be even better overall. But I think the challenge here for Phil Spencer and Xbox is to just try to get more Japanese games onto Xbox Game Pass, to not only increase the subscriptions in that region, but to also just give those games to all of the other parts of the world that have access to Game Pass and to xCloud. So we know probably the most anticipated game in 2022 is STARFIELD, coming out from Bethesda, which will be an Xbox exclusive. But this is a game, because of the hype for it, because of the anticipation, people are expecting it to be absolutely amazing. We don't know how good it's going to be yet because nobody's played it, but I think it's going to be a great game. But now we do know that this game is going to be absolutely just massive in terms of its dialogue options, which it bodes well for the style of game it is. So at TGS, Bethesda's Todd Howard and Arcane Studios' Harvey Smith came out and talked about STARFIELD and Redfall and announced that they will both be localized for Japan. Now, what makes this impressive is specifically with STARFIELD, the fact that Todd Howard has said that it's going to feature 150,000 lines of dialogue, and when you compare that to the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, that game only has 60,000 lines. So they're going to be localizing all of that for the Japanese audience, which I think will be a great thing, because Skyrim, I think, did decently well in Japan, so there will be interest in Starfield in the Japanese market, and if they're going to completely localize it and make it the best experience for that region, it's going to be a great thing for the game. And overall, it really just tells us here in the West how big this game is going to be. The amount of dialogue options has my brain going crazy thinking about what you're going to be able to do, and stuff like this just gets me even more excited for this game to release in 2022, and I hope to see a lot more as we go through this year. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. Let me know what you think about xCloud, Xbox Cloud Gaming expanding into other territories, and what you think this will do for Game Pass and the subscriptions and stuff like that. Do you want to see more Japanese games on the Xbox platform and available on Xbox Game Pass? And what do you think about the amount of dialogue lines that are going to be there for Starfield? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you're new here and you like what you see throughout this video. I'd really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button to help this channel grow, help grow this community, so we can have great conversations in the comments below. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.